What does a plastic water bottle have to do with landscape watering? It can irrigate your drought-tolerant landscape and prevent more plastic from filling local landfills. How does it work? The Youth Advisory Council shows us. The Water Authority created the Youth Advisory Council, or YAC, in 1999 to engage high school students in a discussion of water issues. YAC provides opportunities for youth to participate in the planning, policy development, and evaluation of water conservation. In past years, YAC helped launch the first World Water Day event in Southern Nevada, organized the Youth Summit, and developed a unique hydroponic system to educate Springs Preserve visitors about sustainable gardening. This year, the students focused on finding the most efficient way to water landscapes and vegetable gardens.
So for our project, we basically came up with a way to educate the public about drip irrigation and to educate them about the wasteful practices that we find ourselves doing all the time. And so for this project, we did a lot of things just by going out to orchards and talking with different farmers, and we found out that they use drip irrigation as the most efficient way to farm and the most efficient way to save water. And so the goal of our project was basically to educate the public about that.
Drip irrigation is the most efficient method to water Las Vegas landscapes. It delivers water slowly and directly to soil, giving plant roots a better chance at survival. Drip delivers water in gallons per hour, whereas sprinklers water in gallons per minute. The water savings add up. After doing their initial research, YAC saw an opportunity to educate the community about drip irrigation. But they took it a step further and devised a sustainable and low-cost way to water using recycled household materials.
Some of the cost-effective ways that we came up with to implement drip irrigation, not only at home but also in a school environment, was with PVC pipes, in terms of using recycled PVC pipes with holes drilled into them, a water source attached on one end, capped on the other end, and it provides a slow drippage over a long stretch. Another way, and the way that we ended up presenting most heavily in teaching here at Springs Preserve, was a way of taking soda or water bottles and poking holes into the bottom of them in order to control water flow directly into a plant's roots. And this is something, it's a project that kids can do at their school and implement in a small scale home or school garden.
So this is what a traditional professional drip irrigation kit looks like, and these can go from $60 to $100. And so the basic components of these are the motor, the pressure filter, and the valves. And after all of these things are used, the water flows through this one pipe. And with this pipe, you're able to regulate the amount of water that goes through to your crops, and you can do that by using these little attachments. And so these attachments will allow you to adjust the water according to what crop you're planting, according to how much of it you're planting. And these kits are really the last step in the investment into drip irrigation.
And we wanted to explore alternatives to these expensive professional kits that are kind of that last step and provide some baby steps to getting to this idea of drip irrigation. And what we came up with were these recyclable bottles, and these are water bottles that have small slits cut into the bottom that you actually plant with your plant or crop. So the soil would come up to about the neck, and every so often, as you need to water, you'd unscrew the cap, fill it with water, and put the cap back on. And this actually regulates the water in the same way that the small plastic regulators do on the professional kits. So when you poke holes into the top of the cap, either no holes at all or some holes, much like putting your finger on the end of a straw, the pressure will actually control how much water comes out, and more holes mean faster flowing water. And you can experiment and adjust this depending, again, just like with professional kits, how many crops you're planting, what kind of crops they are, and how much water they need. And in that way, they're a really cost-effective way that are also recycling and reusing water bottles to achieve the same effect as these drip kits and have the same environmental impact as them, as a step towards professional drip kits.
I think it's really important that they're focused on sustainable drip irrigation, especially with youth. The water bottle projects that they proposed are ways that kids can do. You use scissors, you use a hammer and nails, things that are really easy for them, and it teaches them just the very basics of drip irrigation and gets them excited because they're making things and they're digging it into their garden, and it's something they could take home and teach their parents because there's not too much instruction required.
The Youth Advisory Council meets once a week to develop and implement their annual project. They also present their findings to SNWA's Board of Directors. The students are at the Springs Preserve regularly to talk to visitors about the benefits of drip irrigation. They use their irrigation model to show that anyone can apply this simple, green method at home or at school.
We want to take that kind of difficulty and hardship out of being water conscious and create these recyclable ways that not only reuse and recycle materials, but also are a better way of watering in general.
These model students are future scientists, aspiring engineers, and public servants in the making. The Water Authority's Youth Advisory Council brings a fresh perspective to Southern Nevada's water issues, and with their innovative solutions to our unique challenges, our future is in good hands. Reporting for Waterways, I'm Jason Gifford.